I've been thinking, right? People always say that hey, if you don't study, or if you don't work hard, you're gonna end up as a fry cook at McDonald's.
Yeah.
And you know, I was sat thinking, like, I could not do that. Like, I legit think being a fry cook is too complicated for me to do.
Oh yeah. They talk about it as being like a very low skill, low wage job. It's fucking not. Yeah. Like, it's a lot of fucking hard work, and you have to deal with shitty people all the goddamn time. I think I like told you about this when the pandemic started. Like some asshole went into a McDonald's and like shot the person at the register because they were told to eat. They couldn't eat at the tables. So like I couldn't fucking do that.
No, hell no. And like it's always like fast food joints or something that the crazies go to during late like night drinking or whatever the fuck.
Yeah. Although I'm pretty sure like that specific moment like happened in broad daylight.
Oh, what the fuck?
Like it was during lunchtime.
At lunch?
Yeah.
There's other people in the line. Jesus.
There wasn't, because it was a fucking it was the pandemic. Nobody was there.
No, okay.
Yeah, but still, you don't just go up to somebody in broad daylight and like pop them because I can't fucking eat at a table. And these people are like underpaid as shit.
Who even like eats at a McDonald's like out of their own free will anyway?
Like crazy people who probably deserve the no money they talk about to fry cooks and shit.
Yeah.
There's just like honestly, my heart goes out to people who actually stay at these places because I'm like. The money's got to do so. It's either the money or you're getting some kind of invisible perk we're not even fucking seeing. Because like I could not handle that kind of torture.
I don't know what it's like in America, but in Denmark, it's actually not like the worst position ever. Because in Denmark, they actively give you out like different leadership courses and certificates and shit. That is actually really helpful when applying for jobs in the future, because hey, if you can be a fucking line cook and handle that pressure, you can basically survive everything.
If like the weight of working at another job, like everybody will tell you that if you work as a fry cook, then you use that job as a springboard to get other jobs, and that's just a lie we've been fed forever, but apparently that's a thing in Denmark? Are you shitting me?
Well, obviously, like, it's not that everyone go, yeah, I've got a fucking job at McDonald's, but it is legit, like, opening doors for the future, from what I've understood.
Like, when you here's the doors that opens when you fucking go to a McDonald's. It's either another McDonald's, like somewhere across the street, or like one of those Futurama like suicide booths where you just like go in and you just like you don't come out.
My sister used to work as a chef in like a Sunset Boulevard. I think you guys have that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And like she mentioned that, oh yeah, like I have to come in and work tomorrow because we're gonna get a course in like business management or some shit. And she was just a fucking fry cook, or well, whatever you call it when they are like fixing your sandwiches and shit. Like not a manager or anything, but they had to learn this thing and they got a certificate, and she ended up getting a job later where. Like when the people there saw this one, they were like, "Oh, okay." So
that's like a $300,000 degree, Lassari.
No.
Just even no. I know it's literally just a course. It's just a videotape that like they fucking have to go for like an hour. But I'm not exaggerating. That's the level of shit you have to pay upwards of like a mortgage for in America. And you just like hand that shit out for free to a fucking fry. Okay. I got that out of my system for now.
Okay, good. But
Hello, everybody.
it's just a fucking tape. Like, how the fuck is that a whole mortgage?
Like, I think I've told you, like, the crazy expenses it is to go to fucking college. Because, like, it's all of it is all smoke and mirrors and, like, fucking trying to... It's literally... It's a fucking business. You're for years and years you're touted, you gotta go to college, get a better life. And, you know, maybe back before the 2000s that was, like, maybe true. But, like, a lot of the shit you pay for the things you want are, you like... If you were to, like, break everything down, it'd be, like, a reasonable couple $1,000s for a couple years. And that's fine. But, like, it is crazy. Like, you can't... Like, you have to pay for your textbooks. You have to pay for your room and board. You have to pay for, like, the time you're spending on campus. You have to pay for time you are not on campus. You have to pay for, again, like, the food you eat. You have to pay for literally fucking everything. It is... there's, like, a whole laundry list of expenses that, like, you gotta account for to get, like, just if you just want to go in, get a skill, and get the fuck out. Like, I can't go back to school like you did and get just a degree in something like design, because I'd have to do every other requisite on, like, that goes attached to it. I'd have to retake certain classes because I'd have to pay for those classes. Yeah. It's a fucking so. And like, we talk about this, like, you do all that, and you end up working at, like, a Starbucks, and it's fucking, you can't do shit at a Starbucks, you're just there because you need to start paying off the debt you accrued for like, psychology or whatever the fuck you went into. Hell, even if you go to STEM and you want to go for a good STEM job, it's like, oh, we want somebody who's good at social media, who's invented Twitter before Twitter came out. And I'm like, these people are fucking stupid. America's a hellscape. I will always talk about that with you.
I've noticed. Did I ever tell you about the time where we had to, like, we were given the list of books we needed for my course for the master's degree. Mm-hmm. A teacher basically came in and was like, yeah, so here's all the books that we're going to be need during this semester. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying we got all of these as PDFs on a server somewhere. So
I, like, fully admit this because first off, like, that is the way you do college. Don't pay for textbooks. It's not worth it. But I think it was during, like, my last session, my final during college, where I just couldn't be arsed to put in the effort because my school, because, like, this was at the time when I was told, hey, I know you were on this, like, track to graduate in 3 sessions, but we're just gonna not let you graduate for no reason. So I'm like, fuck it, I'm just gonna cheat. And I ended up doing it. I found, not only did I find the textbook we were using, I found the fucking quiz answers online.
Oh, perfect.
So I literally I put the answers onto a calculator, because we were allowed to bring a calculator. And I just used my calculator. I input all the answers. I did the lab step by step. And then I just left, and I was, like, the first one to leave the room, and it was a good day. And I got the highest score in the class, and I did not feel any sort of guilt or remorse. Cheat. Steal from your college. They are not. It's not worth the money you're paying to be abused like that, mighty guys.
I've never understood the whole idea of having to like pay for the books or anything, especially when it comes to like, for me it was design, for you it was like tech. Like these are both fields that moves incredibly fast. If I have to get a book from just 2 years ago, it is already out of date.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So like fucking like, hey, can you do you have Wi-Fi? Yes, then I have every book I'll ever need, because I can just go and read up to date articles from, let me see, yesterday.
Like they quote unquote make up to date textbooks, and you can't buy older ones. And it's really you like compare them through like a word search. All they do is like they shift around a couple thes, ands, r's, and to make sentences sound different. But they're literally all the same fucking shit.
Oh yeah.
Why are textbooks still a thing if they're costing so much money? Just to squeeze pennies out of students instead of distributing? Yeah, no, that's literally it. Like, you answered your own question. It's just to squeeze pennies out of students. Shit. Okay. I actually have a funny story about this, because at my last job, I worked with somebody who actually was a part-timer in a Texas, like, school book distribution place. And I want to put this in your mind. Texans, you're big, like they have a lot of stereotypes associated with them. They're big on Jesus. They're not so big on LGBTQ, like down there. At least like back in the day when this person was working with them. Their school system is so fucking bad. They had a picture. There was a whole section on like chickens. This was a biology textbook, and they're like explaining how chickens were mating. Mm-hmm. But they just reuse these two pictures every single time for like 20 years. And the person who I worked with looked at this picture, and they were like, "You realize these are roosters, right? These are two roosters. You're talking about reproduction, and you had these gay roosters here this whole fucking time."
Yeah.
I'm just like, so like it took, even then they only fixed it after the person quit.
Oh, God.
Because like they wouldn't because like despite all of like them catching all these grammatical errors, all these fucking blatantly incorrect facts, they were like, "Oh, we'll do it on the next semester." So no, textbooks are a scam. Textbooks are college is a scam. Don't go if you're an American. Go abroad, and by abroad I mean literally anywhere else in the world. Fuck this place.
When I remember when we had to make like essays or reports or anything for my masters, we had to use the Harvard method to cite our sources. And then you obviously have to have like a list of all the sources that you've used, and you have to categorize it into textbooks, articles, podcasts, blah, 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 blah. And so when I handed mine in, and I don't know how it is in America, but in Denmark you hand in your written shit, and then a week or so later you go up to elaborate it with a presentation or something. And for my presentation, my teacher asks me, "Hey, how come that you have used so many website articles?" And I'm sat there when the pandemic had first hit Denmark and been like, well, for one, the library was closed. And other than that, maybe because they're up to date, why is it necessary that I pick up a book? Like, if more modern and more relevant information is on the net, why would I have to pick up a physical book? And my teacher was like, yeah, okay, good point. And I got an 8, so fuck it.
Literally. That's just how it goes. Because you gotta realize when you like go to an institution that like has to do with like pursuing knowledge, you gotta worry about the fuckers who are actually trying to pursue knowledge, because they will point out all the flaws in fucking everything.
Yep.
Yeah, don't be like me, a guy who just wants to go because you just want to get a job.
Yeah, how dare you?
How dare I? How dare I? But that's my experience in America. I got fucked over by every college thing I've ever done. If I'm gonna go, somebody's either gonna pay me back. Actually, good news about the okay. There's only been one good thing about the pandemic, and I'm gonna mention this right now, and it's that a lot of people's student loans are being forgiven.
Oh yeah,
because the pandemic hit everybody so hard that obviously nobody can pay any of this shit off. So a lot of the people who like paid like hundreds of thousands of dollars, all that's evaporated. And I know I told the story where I fucking nearly killed myself over the pandemic just trying to pay it off in one go. And I'm gonna be 100% real. Like, good for them! Good! I want nobody else to suffer the way I did. I want nobody in the world to fucking have to like choose between eating and making a loan payment. Like, oh my god. Like, I've never been like, that was like the one time I had faith in America where they're like, no, that can't be real. That's a fucking meme. That's some, like, bullshit controversy shit to take me so we can vote for somebody. But it was real, and I couldn't be any more happier, bro. I'm glad people's shit got forgiven, and I would fucking die 20 other times if this meant we could have had this sooner, bro. Like, oh my god. Like, no, like, I like, to live in a world where you don't have to, like, pay $1 billion just to live. That'd be great. You know, this always comes back to, like, whenever we talked about, like, America and, like, education and shit. We had this, like, discussion in the Webcast Relief chat yesterday, too.
Where a new person came in. With the fucking taxes and shit?
Oh, yeah, that was just me. Well, first off, that was just me trying to plug. Which, by the way, if you have any, I think, like, the actual sentence I use, like, if you have any tips for committing tax fraud, please send your tips to webcastrelief@gmail.com.
So if I wanna, like, fuck the man, I'll have to send a letter to webcastrelief@gmail.com?
Yes, that's exactly what you have to do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so honestly, a lot of that was me shelling, and a lot of me explaining to a new person, oh yeah, America failed me, and I can't help but be salty. And I don't think I'm ever going to get over it until I move out.
I mean, you have been extremely fucked by America, and I don't think I've ever seen any Americans who have hated America as much as you.
Oh yeah, definitely. Although, to be fair, it's like I am definitely an outlier, because I'm like, what are the odds, bro? Like, nobody else I knew had to deal with the same shit I had to. Which, first off, good for them. I want nobody to go through the same shit I did. Like, but I'm like, bro. Yeah,
you were going through it.
Yeah, but you know what? It's fine. I'm not in, like, I ain't no rags to riches super fucking star. But, like, I'm kind of happy where I am at the moment. Like, my hedonic treadmill is finally past the survive notch. So now I'm actually, like, furnishing the place. I'm cleaning shit up again. I bought like, $50 worth of fucking, like, Little Debbie and Hostess snack cakes. Because I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I haven't had junk food since, like, 2020. I'm gonna fucking gorge myself. And then I had one snack cake and I passed the fuck out.
Oh, yeah, I remember you mentioned that.
Yeah, that was funny.
I had to explain to my boss in the office that, hey, is it possible that I could have, like, small little snacks on my desk? And she's like, sure, how come? And I'm like, well, I have this thing where I can't tell if I'm hungry. So sometimes I just need to have a snack nearby, because I will have forgotten to eat when I needed it. So now I have a whole bunch of fucking snacks on my desk that I could just like nom nom nom.
Oh man, that's great, dude.
Yeah, that's good. Also,
and to be fair, I know what that's like.
Also, we've gotten a fucking with the new establishment, we have gotten a new like food deal going on, in that like we pay a minuscule amount every week, and then we get basically all that we can eat for lunch, as well as drinks. And so they've ordered a crate of Red Bull, and I'm the only one in the office who drinks Red Bull.
Fucking let's go.
So if I suddenly don't make a podcast and I don't give a heads up, assume that it's because I've had a fucking heart attack.
He'll sleep it off. He'll be fine.
I hope so.
I hope so too. Actually, hold on. I need to write that down real quick. In case of quiet, he probably died from Red Bull. Don't worry don't ask why I'm writing this down. It's fine.
Okay, because I am a tiny bit worried.
I am planning on a very stupid thing. If I can pull it off, I'm planning on chugging a whole bunch of caffeine over the weekend, because I have an idea for April Fool's Day.
Oh.
And that's all I'm going to say.
No. I saw you guys talking about that in the chat. I peeked my head in, saw the mods talk about the 1st of April. I was like, nope. The less I have to do with this, the better, because I'm typically the stickler that goes, no, maybe we shouldn't do that because it's my image or anything. So here it's just like, you know what? Fuck it. And then I move out.
You did, when we were talking about this, you did not mention anything of what if you approved or denied my idea.
Nope.
So I'm just gonna do it.
Because the moment I sign on or off on these ideas, I am a part of it. So I'm just, whoops, I didn't see shit.
Just like, listen, when the thing drops, I'm just going to say, you are free to just say I had nothing to do with this.
I probably will, and let it be known here on recording that I had nothing to do with anything.
So whatever happens on April 1st, it's all Cloudy's fault.
Establishment of plausible deniability.
Cloudy has been shit-talking America, and now he's talking about planning something stupid on a certain day. Hi, FBI, include me in the screenshot! Oh my god. It's nothing. Listen, I'm not sure how. Okay, so the reason why I'm actually so gung-ho about it right now is I've had a discussion with certain people about how do I say this very vaguely, because I don't want to mention names, but there's a distinct difference between we talked about this before. We have a distinct difference with people who genuinely love something and are willing to put in the effort. And there's people who love something, but are not willing to lift a finger to make it happen.
Yes. And
I had a revelation, because the thing I'm planning is related to this circumstance where a person loves a thing and talks about it nonstop, but doesn't want to put in any effort to make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm just like, what if I was a spiteful bitch, though?
What if spiteful bitch? Nah.
Nah. I mean, this is all starting to sound slightly radical.
Slightly.
I mean, it might be radical. No one's gonna get it till April Fool's Day. But I'm going to see if I can put my money where my mouth is. Because it is so easy to criticize another person. It's another thing to actually do it yourself and fucking, prove that anybody can do it. So, I am planning to put my money where my mouth is, and no matter how good or bad it turns out being, I'm gonna tie it into April Fool's Day because it'll be funny for me. Any of that justified genocide talk was a red flag. Oh, we talked about that too in the Webcast Relief Discord the other day. Yeah, it's because the whole isekai thing is fucking weird.
Oh, boy. Oh, no. I don't want to talk about isekais again.
We're not gonna talk. Okay, we're not gonna talk about it. If you want to know more about what that whole thing is about, go watch the first episode of our podcast, or ask us a question at webcastrelief@gmail.com.
Wow, you're getting really good at this.
Listen. We got like 2 new questions, and I'm excited to at least read one of them today because we have been drowning for questions for a while. Thankfully, Caesar gave us 20 a couple months ago, but that well's starting to run dry. So please ask questions. But anyway, what I am planning, I promise you, it is not harmful. It is not going to be damaging to anybody's image. It's mostly going to be a joke, and it's going to be the same thing we kind of do every New Year's, every April Fool's Day.
Like the time where we changed the fucking server icon to be Morris tits, and we were just talking about how awesome this was for a whole day.
Yeah, basically.
Great.
Or it was either last year or the year before where everyone became the troll slayers, and we just had a fucking fake. We just had a fake channel where we talked about, okay, so here's what we're gonna do to fuck the trolls.
And we all had the different roles, the money, the looks, and everything. And I think I was the F word.
The F word?
I think, yeah, I don't recall.
I can't remember which one I was. I think I was the money guy. Yeah, I was Silver. Although somebody was the guy with no ears. No, that was Angel. Angel was the guy with no ears.
And he played that role to a fucking T. The entire day he was just screaming, "What? I can't hear you!" at random people in this fucking Discord. That's dedication.
So yes, I'm going to say the way I'm planning this, it's going to be another one of those on April 1st. So if you want to see it, feel free to join the Discord link down below in the description, or completely avoid it if you want nothing to do with it.
No, I have to put the Discord link in the description.
I thought you always did that.
I don't recall what I put in there. YouTube has a thing now where you can just take this from this other video when you're uploading. So I'm just taking the description for every fucking podcast and then changing what we're talking about. I don't fucking know what is actually in there. It's been a while.
Huh. Well, now you gotta look at it for another longer minute now. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for making you do more work, Alasa. Know that I love you very much. You are my friend. I hope they get a good actor to play Cloudy in the documentary. Okay, you know who I want to play me?
Okay, fuck it, I'm cutting off. Danny Trejo.
Danny Trejo! Oh, that'd be cool, though. See, I was gonna say, the guy they got to play Luffy in the live action, because he seems like a fun kid. Yeah, yeah. And I feel like he'd nail my bullshit personality pretty well.
Dude, speaking of Danny Trejo, real fucking... Have you seen that he's coming up in a new movie?
I have not. Tell which one?
Apparently, I don't recall what it's called. I saw a trailer for it, and it looks like it's the dumbest best thing in the world because it looks like Hispanic Power Rangers.
Oh my god. What's it called? I'm gonna find it.
I don't know. And it stars Danny Trejo, and there's big fucking Quetzalcoatl rings in space or some shit.
I looked up Danny Trejo new movie, and apparently he's in Minions: The Rise of Gru.
That's not the one.
I hope not. Hold on.
I'll check it out as well.
I think it's like. Oh wait, no. I think it's a Green Ghost in the Masters of the Stone. That sounds like some bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah. There's a shot where they're all in fucking. That's not Robin Williams. He's dead. Who the fuck is that guy? They're all wearing superhero costumes. So some of them got like Mexican wrestler shit. Okay, well that's gonna be fun.
I am way on board with this.
This shit looks fun. I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah. Did you fucking see the new Nicolas Cage movie that's coming out?
I have not seen a movie since like Sonic. I think that was the last thing I saw before the pandemic.
Oh, okay, great. Well, Nicolas Cage is making a movie in which he plays Nicolas Cage, and it's just about Nicolas Cage being Nicolas Cage doing Nicolas Cage shit. I don't know what the fuck the plot is. It is just like it is legit him playing himself. It's gonna be the best movie in the world.
Okay, so the Oscar winner candidly discusses his struggle to play himself in the new comedy, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
There it
his
is.
mutual departure with Hollywood, why he's become a meme favorite, and whether... Okay, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
And you know
okay.
what? And Cloudy, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna watch 10 minutes of it and then give a review on it.
Good. I want to see it.
Okay. No. Yeah. Obviously, you know what I'm referring to. And I do want to touch on that real quick.
Go ahead.
Obviously, like I'm exaggerating it way too much, and honestly, it's been blown widely out of proportion. But what happened was that Adam from Your Movie Sucks made a statement or something about why he's not finishing every movie that he reviews, and he later clarified and said that it had only been the case of like 1 or 2 movies. So, but the internet kind of ate him raw because, I mean, I don't think it's a good idea to review a movie without finishing it.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things. It's one of those things where because I obviously immediately start looking at that and go, am I in a position where I can complain? Because, for example, I never finished Yosh. But I think it's a little different. With a movie, you're like there for maybe 2 hours. You can afford 2 hours. If I have to read 2,000 pages, it's gonna take me a couple of weeks. So I definitely think that like 2 hours, you can fucking do 2 hours, but 2 weeks, that's a little more like. But the obviously Adam is a very very popular YouTuber at this point, very big in the movie review scene. And so, of course, he has a lot of supporters who will adamantly defend him, and whether or not they agree with his statements or if they're just like wanting to be nice to the favorite YouTuber, I do not know. It's probably a little bit of both. But they kept doing this comparison to like, if you take a bite of a burger and you don't like the burger, then like you can still review the burger. And I don't know if that is a good comparison, because a movie is not like the total sum of a burger. A movie is each individual ingredient in a burger. So it would be like, like for example, with The Sixth Sense, which, you know, it's kind of like set up. Oh my God, Bruce Willis is dead. Ending. In that movie, the big reveal is the beef. It is the thing that, like, the delicious part of this burger. Mm-hmm. But if and you're not gonna get a taste of that beef the first time you bite into this burger. It is something that you first get later on. So I don't know if that is a good comparison. And if it's legit just been 1 or 2 movies or something, and it's just like the last 10 minutes or something that Adam didn't watch or something, fine, who gives a fuck? But the thing is that might as well just like go full it. I don't really like Adam. I respect him a lot as a creator, and I think his videos are great, but I don't like Adam that much. And I don't like him that much because he really has an ego about him. And he refuses to ever admit to any, from what I've seen, any time that he's in the wrong. And this situation here reminds me of the time where he got caught saying that he understood people who fucked animals. Oh, well.
Yeah, that was him just, like, not explaining his point very well.
Yeah, because his point was, after elaboration, is that he thinks it's that you cannot fully be against the sexual abuse of animals if you at the same time are willing to kill them and eat them and all this shit, because like one is, you know, worse than the other. But the way that he initially phrased it was like, nah, fuck it, fuck animals, shit's great. Well, obviously not.
Not the shit's great part, but I'm like, no, I know what you mean.
Yeah, but I'm just, you know, being dumb. But essentially, like, at first he's like not elaborating to this degree, and so obviously when you read it, the first thing you will jump to when reading that is like, okay, he wants to fuck animals, and then later he comes out with this elaboration, and then if that was all, that would be perfectly fine, because oh shit, I said some dumb fucking shit and you and we got interpreted wrong, might be. But that's not what he does. And it's the same thing here, where he says something, and then he gets backlash from it, and he then starts going, no, you misunderstood me. This is your issue. This is your problem for not understanding me. And it's like, no. Like, if you don't, like, if you say something wrong, it is on you for, like, not, you know, explaining yourself well. And I remember, so he puts out this video now, because, again, this whole fucking thing just blew up. And he was like, I don't understand why people are so butthurt that I don't, like, finish a movie. And he starts going on about how that these are not reviews. This is just his creative outlet. But there's like, you call them reviews in the videos, and you also gotta understand that even if this is just a creative outlet for you, you have become what many people see as an authority when it comes to video reviews. Mm-hmm. And so, like, even if this is just a creative outlet for you, you gotta be aware that that is not necessarily what people perceive it as. And so you cannot get angry if people as a whole have started seeing what you're doing as actual factual reviews of a product. Mm-hmm. And it just, like, everything about this was just, like, so poorly handled, I feel, because again, it is such a fucking small little thing. But then I remember there was this one post I saw where I think he's another movie review or something. He quote tweeted Adam's post where he just, like, has, like, this entire fucking list of reasons why he's not finishing movies or some shit, and he goes, "Lol, what the fuck?" That is it. There's no, like, exclamation marks or anything, just lol, what the fuck, all lowercase. And then fucking Adam replies like, "Hi, it seems you have strong opinions on this issue. Would you like to have a conversation with me over live stream? Follow for DM, thanks." And it's like, how is this a strong opinion? It's a guy going, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
And, like, and it's such a fucking, like, it's shit that you would normally, like, make fun of people for, like, "Oh my god, you don't agree, fucking debate me, bro." And, like,
yeah, no, it's real, people will do that.
Yeah, like, fucking, like, if it had been me, I'm like, fuck no, why would I? Like, it's such a small thing.
Oh my god.
Legit just go, it's only if I think it's boring, and in the future I will mention if I walked out of a movie because it was boring. That's a review as well, that you could not finish it because you were bored. That is perfectly valid. Mm-hmm. But instead going, no, my review should be valid even if I don't disclose that I don't finish it, or something like that. And I was like,
I think it all has to, like, depend somewhere. Okay. I've been thinking about this a lot. And a lot, because we had this conversation similar a long time ago. And it was that conversation where I botched my points so fucking bad nobody could understand what I was saying. Neither could I halfway through.
Great.
This was about... Remember when you asked me about, like, Kingdom Hearts... And you were asking me, do you have to finish the whole game to tell if it's bad? This is the exact same fucking scenario. Mm. And I think that... Because, like, I've been thinking about what I was trying to say, and I think if I can do it as succinctly as possible, you are entirely entitled to your opinion, but whatever you put out into the world, what you have done... to what research you're backing it up, your opinions will be weighed depending on how far you got.
Yeah.
Like, that's just how it fucking is, no matter what. You can definitely, I can, like, just to play, like, Adam's advocate.
Yeah.
Like, you can definitely say, his review, like, what he saw was bad. And, you know what? He's entitled to that. But he's also has to understand that opinion is not going to hold a lot of water to anyone else you tell that to. And everyone's also entitled to say your review is shit for that reason. It's like, no, unless you believe a good ending can save a bad game.
Like, if again, to play Adam's advocate, because, like, while I do not, I'm not, like, too fond of Adam as the character that he has put himself out to be, because I don't know if that's how he really is or anything. And you know, like from what little you see of videos and tweets and shit like that, it's like it's not a full picture of him. So I don't. Maybe he's a great person. I don't fucking know. But yeah, to be his advocate, there's definitely grounds and solid like reasoning for just go. I couldn't finish the thing, so I didn't like it. But when you then, if I was to say, hey, this thing is bad, it comes with the assumption as a base standard that I finished it. Because that is the normal thing you do when you say something is bad. Because if it's so bad that you couldn't finish it, you typically say as much.
Yeah,
and
that's like if you just say that outright. Yeah, that's all you need to do.
Yeah, and that is perfectly fine. Like, you know what? I could legit not be asked to finish this fucking movie. Fucking perfect. I have a fucking... Hold on, let me check real quick. I have this one anime that I've owned since I lived with my parents. It's called No Eying or something.
I wanted to watch that one too. I actually watched the first couple episodes.
Yeah.
But like, no, definitely. I know what you're talking about, but continue.
Yeah, like, I wanted to get into that because, you know, like, you see screenshots of it, and it's like, oh, well, this looks fucking rad. And it's boring as shit. I've never made it past the 2 first episodes. And that is a valid criticism to give.
That is... No, I agree with you. Like, okay. Because I had this issue where, like, I go into knowing, and, like, I only have the first disc because I picked it up in a fucking Goodwill when I went to go visit my friend in Arizona. And, like, I sat down, and I'm like... I remember I have, like, various tiny visions of, like, seeing it in a Japanese MAD, and the animation was fucking gorgeous. And I see, like, GIFs, and they have some really spectacular shots. There's good shit in here! But... to get to it, it is fucking a slog! Because it's just non-stop talking. And it's just non-stop, like, setting up, establishing shit. Like, in the first fucking episode, they reveal that this, like, guy who's in parallel dimensions is the future version of this dumb study kid in elementary school. And we're like, how the fuck do you get from there to there? Apparently really fucking boringly. I'm determined to finish Noin as soon as I find the other DVDs. Because I do think there has to be merit in here somewhere. But I agree with you. It is a fucking slog.
I will fucking send them to you. Because I'm never gonna fucking finish it. But... again, there's absolutely merit to just say, you know, I couldn't finish it. It was boring. But when you portray yourself as a educated reviewer, which is very much what Adam does, even though like he makes some funny jokes here and there, a lot of the time with the way that he goes into cinematography and like he talks about like these pretty like not base level audience terms, you are expecting him to, okay, he has like a better normal understanding of how the medium works, and therefore he comes from an informed position, and thus I should or I can put more credit into his reviews. And then the reason why people get agitated when they then find out that this informed reviewer has not finished something, it kind of brings the validity of his review into question. Now, people have absolutely gone way too far in like cussing this dude out because again, it's a dude online, and as he said, it's been 1 or 2 movies that he couldn't finish, and it was like the last 10 minutes or something like that. But again, that was only in the elaboration. But to return to the old Kingdom Hearts thing, I definitely so like Kingdom Hearts is interesting because Kingdom Hearts doesn't get good from one point to another in the first game. Kingdom Hearts gets good in a different game.
Oh yeah. Like, honestly, following Kingdom Hearts, it is bizarre because okay, you know when I talked about Homestuck, where a lot of the best parts of it is because it's a collaborative effort. Like, Kingdom Hearts has so many goddamn plot holes, but like it is barely held together by strings because there are some really fun and enjoyable aspects to it. But to reach that echelon of good that all these fans will fucking die hard for, you have to put in effort and like string all this crazy bullshit together. They were like the original Five Nights at Freddy's fandom with like trying to make sense of this crazy bullshit. Did you know that like apparently in like the beginning of the timeline, all of the universe was just one mega planet? Like you could technically walk from like Cinderella Land to Snow White Land on foot. And the only reason we have a space theme is because the entire world blew up. And that's just revealed in a fucking mobile game in Japan.
Which is apparently, from what I understand, crucially important to the plot of Kingdom Hearts 3.
It is, like, oh god, that fucking mobile game is so goddamn important. Although they did this thing that I thought was really fucking cool in like a fucking anime sort of way, where they take the usernames of everybody who played the game before it shut down, and they show up during one of the cutscenes.
Okay.
Because like you know when they do like commands, they have names for like the attacks, like Arcus Anum, Strike Raid, whatever.
Yeah.
Like you're riding on like a fucking wave of Keyblades. And, like, all the names of the attacks are the usernames for every single player for that game. Because you're essentially fighting in the graveyard for the Keyblade War. So every soldier was a player who played that game. And I'm like...
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. And I'm like, for all the fans who put up with it, they got to fucking eat. And I'm like... I'll still definitely fucking say this whole shit is dumb and bad and stupid, but they got their money's worth for that shit.
Hey, a broken clock is right twice a day.
Exactly.
I want to ask, and I want to preface this with my own example, but what is the worst, like, ergodic story? Like, where you had to go out and find lore somewhere else for a franchise that you've ever experienced? Because my favorite is the Dragon God and Nier one, where apparently you have, like, to understand a certain link between something. I don't recall what exactly the link is, but to understand the link, you have to fucking get a limited edition art book from one of the games that will have a snippet of information that is fucking crucial. Like, the fact that it's a limited edition and it's a fucking art book, it's just fucking, what in the fuck? And then if you want to understand some of the lore between Nier 1 and Nier Automata, you have to go and watch a shitty Japanese stage play. So do you have anything where you go, like, I have to do fucking what to understand something really important?
Okay. I actually do have one example that does beat out Drakengard and Nier. It's not as over the top of the shit you have to do, but I actually think it does it worse than Nier and Drakengard. And it's a little game by the guy who created Sonic called Balan Wonderland. So I don't know if you know anything about the video game.
Oh,
like,
was that the one that fucking got fucking slam dunked by every reviewer known to man?
Yes. So I did a little digging on why it was so bad, because I watched a couple of reviews, but there's like they a lot of them harp on the game being like a broken piece of shit, and it's a broken piece of shit and fucking weird. But you know me, I like to dig for that lore, and I'm like, what's to do with the story? And I find out that the game does not tell you anything. Like, at least with Nier, there's like a competent story. Like okay, competent is a bit much. It's much, but there's a story. There is not in the game. There is. But there is like a little side book that costs like $30 that was only released in Japan during the week it came out, and then it got ported overseas once and then never again because the sales were so bad. And like, how do I play this? There's no dialogue in the entirety of the game of Balan in the Wonderland. Huh. There's not so much as like a name being dropped aside from Balan. There's not so much as, like, the Kirby pause screen lore hint screens. There's no dialogue boxes for the items. The game itself is, like, as if you played a fucking video game from, like, the 1980s. Here's the thing, do the thing, jump and dump a derp a derp. And maybe, if you're lucky, you get a weird fucking dance sequence where you rip it up with Farmer Ted. For no fucking reason. But, apparently, the game itself is... Like, the story that it's supposed to be in this one book that you can't even fucking get anymore is that, there's, like, a girl who... It's fucking weird. This is a girl who wants to save this theater. She's talking to Balan. And then, like, the young kid who's like, oh, I don't give a shit about anything that's going on! Despite, like, half the people there are all dead... people who've had, like, the most depressing stories of their entire life. I think, like, one of the girls committed suicide, and he's like, hey, dude, I like to dance. Dance with me. And that's literally all, like, that's all you see in the fucking game, and then you have, like, all these, like, heart-wrenching stories about all the characters in this story, and, like, all this weird twists and turns, and I'm like, why did you just put it in the fucking game? And, like, I looked into that because I wanted to see what is the design process? Why the fuck did it come out like this? And the reason was because, like, the fucking whatever Sonic guy's name was, he's like, oh, I know that Square Enix is very big on stories, but I think it's not necessary. I think the gameplay can speak for itself. I do not want the story to get in the way. Just hearing that and seeing that and the way it was executed, it is by far the most botched fucking thing ever. Remember Destiny? Game explains nothing, but you can unlock lore cards, although you can only read them if your online account, not in game. Yeah, that's also fucked too.
I kind of...
I was about to say, didn't Destiny, like, reset, like, a bunch of shit? So, like, the stuff at the beginning of, when you first played the game, when it first came out, has absolutely nothing to do with what it is now?
I don't know. All I know about Destiny is that if you have bought any of the disc Destiny that you could buy at the time, that is no longer playable. Because they have taken so much out of the game out and replaced it with new shit, to the point where people don't know what the plot is anymore.
Honestly, like, yeah, it's weird because, like, for as bad as Drakengard and Nier are, it's like it's easily digestible enough so that the fact that it could still have a fandom, the fact that like it's the person who made those games is still getting paid to do shit. So he had to have done something right.
I think, like, Drakengard as a whole is fine. I haven't played them, but from what I can see from, like, videos and text and stuff, it's like the plot from the Drakengard games is easily enough to kind of, like, go through. It starts getting fucking weird with Drakengard 3, but where the big issue comes is when we then move over to Nier.
Yeah, because they tried to that was like again, I have not played Nier. I've only, like, from what our conversations, the thing I glean is, like, what if we artsy fartsy this shit to hell?
I'm reminded every time that I'm like playing Nier or Automata. I'm reminded of that one bit that Nostalgia Critic did when he was covering The Cell, where he's like talking about how he's just imagining that the director or writer of the movie is like over in the corner going, "Ask me what it means! Ask me what it means!
Ask me what it means!"
Yeah.
It's literally, yeah, no, definitely.
But speaking about all this agodic text, I think that's what it's called. I kind of think that, like, I hope that is a thing for Strangers of Paradise, because
What?
I put out a tweet today, and in that tweet I said I believe wholeheartedly that Sonichu is better written than Strangers of Paradise, and I wanna give an example as to why I believe this. So, and I know that you've been doing some digging on the game as well.
Yeah.
So where I left off yesterday, I played a little bit before dinner, and in that we go to see a dark elf because he knows where we can find the fire, wind, water. I don't know, one of the elements that we have to kill for some reason. And as we go there, I finish off a fight, and my teammates go, "Oh yeah, there's a Jack that we remember. Oh, he's finally back. Oh, he seems to be back in shape." And I'm like, was it ever gone? What the fuck? Hello? And they're like, "Oh yeah, he used to be fucking badass." And I'm like, how the fuck? We met because you had a crystal, I had a crystal, and we then like fist bumped, and then we went to fight chaos. Like that is how we know each other. It's not like we are like fucking friends from long ago. So I go and I fight the boss. And then, after I have defeated the boss, I get a tooltip that tells me that my teammates can now use more advanced classes. So the pugilist is now like a monk, and my paladin is now red mage. Go figure. And my rogue is still not on the team because fuck him. And it explains this with in the tooltip going, your teammates have recovered their memories. What? What the fuck do you mean they have recovered? Had they lost their memory? When the fuck was this ever brought up? Someone, sorry, I don't recall who it was, but I posted all of this in the Discord, and this person was like, yeah, but there's a thing with the Final Fantasy 1 and how that shit goes that might explain it, and I'm sat there going, it's in a fucking tooltip.
I'm like, this is such a bizarre fucking experience to have right now. Oh my god, this game is so fucking stupid.
Like, in Sonichu, Sonichu has moments where an issue is very much like, by the way, forced into the overall plot. Like, oh, by the way, fucking North Korea attacked Kovikville or some shit like that.
Yeah.
But it mentions it that, oh, by the way, Korea attacked Kovikville. It's not just, and then Kovikville fought off North Korea. Like, even if it abruptly elbows its way into the plot, it still introduces it. Here it solved an issue I didn't know existed.
It's it's awful. Like, okay, this is so poorly done. There has to be some kind of, okay, you know how in American writing, a lot of American cartoons, a lot of, like, the big trend was, like, subverting expectations?
Mm-hmm.
How I'm feeling like Japan's going through this own thing where they try to, like, coin this unconventional storytelling, where where it's suddenly in vogue to, like, not tell you shit flat out.
There is a point in where I've reached where so we meet that dark elf, and he's about to explain how, like, something about dark elves, and Jack, because he's so cool, Cloudy, Jack is so cool, he goes, I don't care, and just pieces out. And that was pretty funny, I will admit. I'll finish up real quick. And so, like, I see that, and I'm going, they have got to know. Like, they have got to know, like, Jack is an extreme version of Cloud, where he's a dumb fucking cunt, but he thinks he's trying to pretend to be the coolest, baddest, biggest, diggest G in the fucking world. The problem is that I then go and find an interview with the fucking creators of the game, where they go, we don't understand why people are laughing at our video game. Why all the memes? I don't understand it. We wanted to tell a serious story that with dark themes. By the way, can we pull up the clip where Jack puts on Limp Bizkit and what the fuck?
Okay, unironically, I love that scene.
I love it too.
It's so stupid.
Yeah.
Okay, I need to ask this to you because again, the only game I've ever played from the Final Fantasy franchise is 1, and you told me his name was Jack Garland.
No, I told you his name was Jack. You told me that his last name was Garland.
No, you said his last name was Garland. It was like you were showing me a link. And the thing said Jack Garland, and I'm like, where did that shit come from? Did they say that was his name in the game? Because that's a massive spoiler from what I'm assuming the twist is supposed to be.
What? I don't. Maybe. I don't recall that at all.
I need to ask, like, in your experience of the game, do they say his last name at any fucking point?
No. Okay. So I'm looking for a chat history here. You sent me a video called Men Only Want One Thing, and it's to kill chaos. And then you go, so I didn't realize the main character's name was Jack Garland. I never mentioned it, because I didn't know. Because remember, I never played Final Fantasy 1. I don't know the significance of the name Garland.
Okay, so... Alright, so that's fair. That's my part.
By the way, spoiler!
I guess I got spoilered, by the way. So, I was asking you, because I'm like, it's not a very significant thing, but like that just tells me the entire plot where the story's going to go. And that's why I started doing the digging. Because I'm like, you're talking about all this dumb, crazy bullshit, and now, like, somebody told me that, so I saw that video, they told me the fucking name, and I'm like, do they just say that in the story? Is that what we're doing?
They have not brought it up yet.
Okay. It's not going to be significant to you. I'm going to tell you that right now. It's only significant to me because I played the first Final Fantasy, and out of the entire game, that is the only name that has significance in that whole game.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's not even that impressive. But you're telling me, we want to tell a dark story with dark themes, with Jack being the main protagonist, and I can tell you, like, what they're going to fucking do. And it's stupid.
What?
And it is very stupid.
Oh, it's stupid. The game that I don't know if you know this, but between the medias res opening and you go into the tutorial, it has a scene where Jack is walking out in the field with Frank Sinatra, My Way, playing on his fucking phone. Like when he puts on quote unquote Limp Bizkit, it's obviously not Limp Bizkit. It's some weird fucking rock song, but it is non-distinct band. So you can kind of get, maybe this is just a band in the Final Fantasy world. But here's this stupid looking, poorly designed fucking cunt walking in a field, listening to Frank Sinatra, My Way.
Oh my god. Okay. I want to point this out. I have not done as much digging. I have not read the spoilers for the end of the series. Because, that one revelation made everything you're complaining about click. And you are entirely right for being mad the way you are. Because it sounds like it's not only handling it poorly. If I'm right, after this podcast, I'm going to go spoil myself and see what the fuck happens at the end of this game.
Please
but if I'm right, they are putting so much emphasis on trying to make Jack likable just so they can make the fucking lame-ass twist at the end quote-unquote meaningful. And that makes me fucking laugh.
And I looked into it. The game has 3 directors, which already makes me go fucking, huh?
Don't do that.
It has 3 directors. Only one has experience directing games. You know what he used to direct?
Nier Automata?
No. Muso games.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah. So
I have a good time.
So I want to unlife, but before I unlife, you wanted to talk about how well the One Piece fandom are eating right now.
Okay, we're just gonna touch on this very quickly because I want to put this into perspective.
And real quick before I start, you just a disclaimer for someone who may be worried. You're not gonna spoil anything now.
I'm gonna do my best not to spoil anything because again, the actual chapter has not come out yet. It's like we usually get we get spoilers on Tuesday. They had to delay it, so we got spoilers today. I finally read them. We get the unofficial translations on Friday, and then the Viz translation comes out on Sunday. That's usually what we've been doing for years now. And how do I put we finally get one definitive reveal about the end game of One Piece. Finally. And it turns out Luffy could probably beat Goku if he wanted to.
Nice.
That's the most spoiler I'm gonna give you, because it has been this thing. It has been it is such an investment to be a fucking fan of this goddamn series. The shit you have to put up with the anime, especially after the time skip, where they decided we are not going to pass the manga on any point. I think I need to know what I think I know what it is. I don't follow One Piece. Thank you, shitty internet. The constant spoilers for very little. Yeah, no, people can't keep it into themselves. This is probably the fourth biggest mystery under finding what the One Piece is itself. And it's one of those reveals that's supposed to recontextualize the main character, but it kind of doesn't, and I'm glad that they played it off this way. Enjoying Elden Ring is very hard when wankers won't shut up spoiling every little thing. Yeah, definitely. The One Piece community has, like, really bad fucking spoilers all the goddamn time. And I feel bad that I accidentally spoiled you with the name of the main character of, what's the fucking
Strangers
name
of
the
Paradise?
game? Yeah, Strangers of Paradise. It means absolutely nothing to you.
No.
So thank goodness for that. But, like, the fact that they made that twist, and it's only relevant to me, just already tells me that this game's fucking shit. But One Piece has been a coy piece of shit. I want you to imagine being edged for 20 years about all the fucking series, about the shit in this series. And the first time we finally get a definitive answer, everyone loses their goddamn minds. The Wano arc, the arc they're in right now, has a whole bevy of problems. It exemplifies all of the worst of One Piece in that it is slow, it is prodding. Like, Lhasa, you had it good with Skypiea. I'm gonna tell you this shit right now. Everything you hate about Skypiea, it is exemplified 10 times in, like, the first half of Wano. And I would understand if you dropped the series at that point, because it gets slow. But there's, like, a certain shift in the point of that arc. The arc is, like, longer than most manga, by the way. It's like we're up to 150 chapters right now in Wano.
Wow.
And there's a certain point where we finally get to the point where it gets good, and week after week after week, like, fans have been the happiest motherfuckers in the fucking anime community. They are eating. They are having the time of their lives, and shit just keeps going. And first off, I'm, like, happy for the people who've invested. I do not think it's one of those things where, like, I'm happy I put in the effort, but I would never ever ask anybody to put in the same amount of effort I did into watching the series. Yes. I'm gonna have all this enjoyment. I want other people to have it, but I'm not gonna make you read the fucking story. 'Cause you are only gonna have fun if you caught up. And that's the fucked part about it. Oh my god. Like, I'm happy. I'm happy with the chapter that came out. I am happy that we were talking so much about, like, stories that try to hide like story points and beats from the reader to keep up this air of mystery. But to, like, have all that through the majority of the story, I think the only reason One Piece gets away with it, you can like I've mentioned this before, you can literally just count each arc of the manga as a separate manga entirely.
Yeah.
Like 1 minute you're reading Detective Conan, another you're, like, reading Naruto, and then another one you're fucking reading Hajime no Ippo. It's just, like, there is a grand overreaching story, but One Piece doesn't always focus on that. But when it does, everyone loses their goddamn minds, and I'm happy about that.
Like fucking Wrong Island or whatever it's called.
Yeah, Long Rant.
Long Rant. Like, that is a school rumble, and then you have and then you have fucking Enies Lobby, which is full on Dragon Ball, complete with fucking power levels and shit.
Yeah, they dropped the power levels right after that. By the way,
yeah, I can imagine.
He's like, oh, you know what? These numbers don't mean anything. That was just the point.
Wait, this is fucking stupid. Fuck off.
Yeah. But I'm like, I'm so happy. And also, I will admit, My enjoyment from this one chapter being revealed is also for an incredibly petty reason. And it's only relevant to me. But, I, like, the One Piece fandom always has this really shitty penchant of trying to predict what the author is going to do. And you always have this subset of people who are obsessed with, like, Dragon Ball, like, power levels and shit. And try to apply it to One Piece. And I don't. You're probably gonna forget this if you do ever catch up, but like literally, there's chapters of a Tyrannosaurus where like the frill goes down to its neck and it starts spinning around like a helicopter, and straight ass face in the manga they say this is how the Triceratops fought in the old times. And you have people trying to say, "Oh no, but because of the power, this makes sense." And there's like a very big predominant thing in the fandom where they try to like where this guy who's really obsessed with power made all these predictions, and every single one of them has been wrong, and it just makes me so goddamn happy. Because if he had his way, the story would be so much worse. Because it would be boring and uncreative. And the way that, the author disproved this motherfucker's whole spiel is in the most creative and fun way I could have wanted. And I'm like, Perfect. This is... c'est magnifique. I'm having a good time. I'm eating. I am fucking chomping. But if you have any really good recipes you want to share, or stories of dunking on somebody, where can they send that to, Lasse?
I'll have to get through this without just fucking stroking off, because holy shit, that transition was smooth. You can send that to webcastrelief@gmail.com. So, in case someone wants to compliment how great Cloudy has become at Segways, they can send emails about that to where?
Oh, glad you asked. You can send that to webcastrelief@gmail.com. Okie doke. I'm having fun. I'm learning. I'm leveling up. I'm gonna make your podcast fucking fun, my boy. But right now, we have a... what was this? Okay. We actually got a question from Ruby today.
I think I know what that is. You need to read it in the Jigsaw voice, I think.
All right. Are you sure you want me to? Because I can.
No, but I think that's what's intended.
Too late I am. Okay, let's go.
For years you two have been best friends. But you are really besties forever? In front of Riser is an exact replica of Dragon Slayer, the sword. And it's all his to take, all at the cost of Cloudy's life. Will friendship win out? Let the game begin.
You know what? I'm impressed. Like I was whole ass like worrying that you were gonna like do some like do some dumb shit with your voice, but no, I had forgotten you had the fucking technology.
I found out before the podcast. I found out is there a way I can make Audacity record this? And I found a way to do it, and I'm like, oh. And then I saw the question today, and I'm like, oh. I know exactly what I'm doing.
I didn't.
So yeah,
I didn't hear. What's that question?
The question was, there is a beautiful exact replica of Dragon Slayer, but if you take it, I die. What do you do?
Well, it's been nice knowing you, Cloudy.
You know what? Fair. That shit's pretty goddamn cool.
I'm not even no hesitation. My hand is already on it.
Listen, that shit has been soaked in the blood of so many demons it can cut you from the soul. That's pretty goddamn metal. It'd be worth it. I would die so you could have the Dragon Slayer.
Like you go to heaven and they were like, so how did you die? And you'll be like, oh, my YouTube friend, he traded my soul for the Dragon Slayer, and they'll be like, yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, but you know what? It's pretty. But look at him, and then we just look down through the clouds, and suddenly you have like the best Guts cosplay in the world. I'm like, yeah. That's a good. That'd be a way to go. I would have done the same. Sorry, Cloudy. I would be sad about it. I'd give my life for a friend if it was for a reason that fucking awesome. Although we do got like another question from Why Not. And they said, if you could hang out with any video game character for a day, who would it be and what would you do? So where do you take Biken out to dinner, Los?
Well, you know what? I don't know what it says. Like, maybe I'm going too old, but my brain did not immediately go to boinking video game characters, even though it probably should have. I was sat here thinking, I think that I would try and go to the gym with Little Mac.
Actually, you know what? That'd be pretty fucking cool.
That would be fucking fun.
Yo,
But yeah, boinking biking, like, why do both? Gym with Armika.
Oh, that's fucking hype!
Armika's the face, I'm the heel. Let's fucking go.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Ah, shit. Okay, now I gotta think of a video game character. Shit. Hang on, let me turn around and see what I have in my art books. Shit, I should have thought about this before I read it, because now I don't got shit. What video games have I played, like, recently? I feel like okay, because like hanging out with Dante sounds really cool, but I'm probably gonna get murdered by the end of it.
I don't know, like from what it looks like, the dude hardly ever works. He just sits in his fucking office and goes Wahoo Pizza.
I mean, I'd be like, bro, same. Hang on,
dude.
Let's play some Mario Kart.
You would hang out in his fucking office, right, with Dante, eating Wahoo Pizza, with Lady and Trish prancing around.
Shit, you know, that'd be pretty fucking. You know, Dante's a pretty good pick. Yeah,
it's a good pick.
Yeah, Wahoo Pizza, TV, hot chicks in the corner. Actually, you know what? You know, it was actually another same energy for that. But would probably be a little worse. Travis Touchdown too. Which would be like a lot of the same bullshit. But he also has a cat.
He has a cat, but I personally believe that Travis Touchdown, as cool as he is, would be insufferable to be around.
Probably
He's a fucking asshole.
Not to mention, like, now that I think about it, like, the whole plot of No More Heroes 2 is that his best friend's head gets cut off.
I fucking adored that. Because it was like, oh no, my best friend is like, he was a shop vendor in the first game. Whomst the fuck is this dude?
And, true.
Did you ever see anything from fucking No More Heroes 3?
I haven't seen... No, I haven't yet, actually.
Okay, mind if I spoil the ending?
Go ahead, I don't give a shit.
So, I'm not gonna explain where exactly and how exactly it happens, but you end up having a fight with the last boss in Smash Brothers. Like, a one-to-one replica of the Kirby world from Smash Bros., where you have to knock him out of the arena.
Yeah, they'd pull some shit like that.
It is like I adore No More Heroes. 1 and 2 are like 2 is a legit fucking fantastic game in like its gameplay, its story, its music. Everything about it is fucking 10 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason why I love No More Heroes is because it juggles this really interesting thing of absurd, dumb humor and dealing with actual stuff, like serious, like meta stories and shit like that. Yeah. Which I think is really, really cool. No More Heroes 3 is just goofy. It doesn't have this serious tone to it every now and again. It is just wacky, dumb, wahoo idiocy. And normally, I appreciate that, but No More Heroes to me was just more than that. And that's a little disappointing, I gotta be real.
I exactly understand what you're feeling, because this was one of those things where, you know, if we didn't wait so long for like a proper sequel to No More Heroes 3, like this probably wouldn't have stung as bad from what it sounds like. But I totally agree. The scene that like sticks out to like my mind, two of them, was when he kills in No More Heroes 2, where he kills like the one who sings Philistine.
Yep.
And like he holds her in her arms and like sets her down and like whistles her theme. It's like, I'll make sure I don't forget it.
Yeah.
And then the fight after that, where he kills like the lady with like the fucking 4 lightsabers, and he's like covered in blood, and it's like, this is what it is to be an assassin. This is what it is to be number 1. And it's like, you almost forget, like a couple of fights earlier, you're on a giant mech while Hatsune Miku is singing in the background.
Yeah.
And it's like, bruh.
Like, one of the things I remember fondly is, I don't recall whether it's 1 or 2, but it's one where you fight the dude in the baseball field.
That is 2, I believe, yeah.
Yeah, and like the dude is going on about how he had all this money, all this fame, but like it didn't mean anything because his family left him or died as a result of this. And it's just like this whole thing about like it is the most like warning to Travis that going down this path is not glamorous at all. And I really like that.
It's just they did juggle the whole like interspersing comedy and tragedy thing. That shit I love in like any kind of story. If you can do that, you've got like a fucking masterpiece on your hands.
I'm trying to think like of a comedy that made me fucking like where it did this exact thing where it's like, oh, fucking wacky dumb bullshit, and then all of a sudden fucking bam with the seriousness. I know Scrubs did it, but I know there's...
Oh yeah, Scrubs did that.
But I know there's better examples, but I can't think of it one right now.
Parks and Rec, maybe?
Oh, Parks and Rec, also really good.
Also very good, yeah. Comedies off the top of my head. I know it's, you know, a lot of Black Block B. What are you talking about, Shane? I don't know.
Oh, BoJack.
Oh, BoJack. BoJack Horseman. I haven't seen BoJack Horseman yet, but like I know that definitely. I feel like, again, I probably have to watch it, but I know that one like veers way more into like the depressing side, and that's why it's popular. But it doesn't hit that like balance that I need.
Yeah, like in BoJack, it's very much like it's like I saw some documentaries about it. at first they had to like get a foot through the door, and at that time the network was like, we need you to make a funny thing with all these animals, and so like the first season is funny, wacky, dumb bullshit, and then like it does like veer into the drama and existentialism and all this tragic shit. And then after that, it just goes more and more and more into that till the final episode where you're just left like with just like this pit, and you're like, what am I supposed to do with it? And BoJack is just go fucking figure it out.
And I'm like, no, that's literally it. Like, don't get me wrong, it's still a great show, probably. Again, I haven't seen it.
I love it.
But it's... okay. Well, yeah, it's a great show, but it's like... that balance is, like, really key to, like, what we're trying to talk about with, like, No More Heroes. You've got to be able to somehow mix rip-roaringly stupid fun and, like, serious, like serious drama that's, like, contemplative and makes you think. It's like... you got, like, if you can do that, it always hits that much harder and that much more poignant.
One of my don't know if Smiling Friends counts too.
It doesn't again, like that one is a lot more funny. It does touch on some like sad, depressing shit, but like it's more, but it definitely is more on funny. But like I said, it doesn't fit. It needs to be balanced. Fuck, I think that's why I always veer to anime, because I can always pick up a shonen, and they do that all the fucking time.
Oh yeah.
The two that like come to mind for me are like One Piece and Gintama. I don't know how like familiar you are with that second one I mentioned.
I know of it. I haven't watched a whole lot of it, and I think it was because like when I typically sit down with an anime, I want a thing. Like, oh, do I want comedy? Do I want horror? Do I want action? And with Gintama, you get what Gintama is fucking serving you that day.
That's literally it. They will do one or the other, and they will go back to one, and then it does have that mix. And like, I will admit, if it was more consistent, it'd be way better. Cause like, but like the reason it has that mix is because like you do have that moment of 1 minute you're like trying to like they there was like a fucking Host Club episode that was fucking funny, but then the one after, suddenly not only is there world-ending consequences, but it's also like you find out the funny little umbrella girl in the Chinese dress has like a warlord father who was super abusive to her, and we're going to kick his fucking ass.
Perfect.
And it's like, oh, perfect. I love shit like that.
One of my absolute favorite video games of all time is Mad World for the Wii.
Oh, yeah.
And Anarchy Reigns. And both of these games have like dumb, over the top, wacky wahoo idiocy in them. I mean, for fuck's sake, in Mad World you have the Black Baron, and then he comes back in Anarchy Reigns, which is a spiritual successor, as Blacker Baron. That's all you really need to know about the tone of this game. But like, as dumb and silly as these games are, to the point where you have a fucking Joe DiMaggio, is that his name?
John DiMaggio.
Yeah, where you have John DiMaggio and the other commentator go, what do you do with these drugs? I inject them into the inner folds of my scrotum. It's an actual quote from the game. And so you have that, and then you have like where it's like talking about the fall of Rome and how the Colosseum matches work and how that affects the human psychology. And it's like, I don't know if any of it is like researched or anything, but I am enthralled, and it is serious, and it's commentating about how we as a society works. And then all of a sudden you have John DiMaggio go, no means yes and yes means anal. And then you're like right back into into fucked up.
Like, that is like a very weird feeling to hit, but when it hits, it's fucking good. I love it.
That guy has more poles in him than my ex-wife.
Oh my god.
Go play
like
Manuel and Anarchy Reigns.
Please do. They're great. They're fucking great experiences. You're gonna have a great time.
If you have ever loved any of the music that has appeared on the Webcast Relief, a ton of that has come from these games.
Fuck yeah. Oh god. We veered super hard off the question,
yeah,
but you
did.
know what? That's fine. Well, you know what? That's what happens when you're passionate.
Yeah. Give me one more.
Okay. Got one from Shiza. And what's this one? Fuck it. Let's be a little serious now because we kind of just got into that. Serious question. Heyo, Cloudy and Riser. I recently came out of a toxic friendship with a pretty scummy piece of shit, and it really affected my mental health. It got to the point where I became paranoid of other artists. I'm doing better now, but I want to know if you had any advice for people who may know they're in one of those friendships but can't pry themselves free. I know in these scenarios, certain words or realizations can be a splash of cold water to wake someone up. Caesar, take care of your mental... Also, P.S., take care of your mental health, people. So... Yeah, no, it's like a fuck it, let's go. Let's speak. We went from funny, silly Wahoo pizza to, alright, time for help. Help. We're gonna help. Okay. So, this is this is obviously a very personal question, and we're going to do our best to, like, be serious about it. It's... A situation like this is always like a toxic relationship is a very hard thing to like not really diagnose, but it's a really hard thing to deal with. Because on the one hand, you also like one of the biggest hurdles is to like realize you're in it to begin with. Like this could be in like a romantic relationship or even just a friendship where somebody's expecting something out of you and you're not getting the same shit in return. If I ever had to give advice from my own personal experiences, is you need to be able to take a step back and realize that you're worth more than what you're going through right now. And that could be a very hard thing to realize, especially if you feel like you're reliant on this person or they're reliant on you, or you're afraid of like missing out if you were to break it off with somebody. It's a tall ask to want to have, but it does take a lot of courage, but it is very important that you do it for yourself at the end of the day. What do you think, Lasse?
If like I'm very much like a person that every time that there is an issue, I want to fix that issue, and that's sometimes a good thing and sometimes a bad thing. But for when it comes to friends, we and other individuals, the first and foremost thing that I always mention is that we gotta remember that these are also people. Sometimes they don't know what they're doing is wrong. And so you gotta like bring it up to them. And if you have at several points gone, I don't like this. I don't want you to. Yeah, people are dumber than they're evil. That's a perfect way to say it. But but if you have several times brought up, hey, can you stop doing this? I would appreciate this. I don't like it when you do this. And they still continue, then I'm going to tell you the same thing that I told one of my friends just the other week, which is that, like, even if you are like 32, like me, and I am aware that most of my audience are younger than that. But even even if you're 40, 50, fuck it. No matter how old you are never too old to make new friends. So why the fuck waste time on these people? It's always nice. It's always nice to have like friends, but if they're toxic, then fuck it. Like what? Like, oh, you're gonna like keep them around just to be nice? No, fuck that. Like if
it's not worth it.
Yeah, if they're like draining you, or if they're being abusive to you, or anything like that, and you have brought this to their attention, and they're showing no signs or interest in trying to improve, then you fucking moonwalk out of the room while flipping the bird. Because like, if they want to be a toxic piece of shit, they can be a toxic piece of shit over there, not here where you are. Fuck that. Fuck over there. And then, if they then come back sometime later and be like, hey, I know I was a piece of shit. Sorry, will you give me another shot? Then you can then go whether or not you want to or not. But don't do it out of pity. Don't do it because it is nice to have something you can call a friend. If you're not enjoying their company or being with them or talking with them or anything like that, then why the fuck waste your time with them? One of the most important and most valuable things you have in life is time. So don't fucking waste it on a cunt.
That's honestly a fucking beautiful way to put it. Like, God, this is also kind of a fucked up way to think about it, but this is like I guess you can call it like a coping mechanism that I've developed. When it comes to certain people, you can think of the relationship as like a transactional service. Like if you're investing money in a stock company, you are investing a certain amount of time in a person, and you need to get over the mentality of I put so much into this person, I can't afford to break it off now. Just telling you, and like this is not financial advice. This is not like perfect and mental health advice, but you do got to get over the thought of I've put so much into this relationship, I can't let it go. Yes, you can.
Yeah.
If it's hurting you, it is more than worth it.
Like Alice in the chat says, sunken cost fallacy.
Exactly. Like there's a certain point where you just got to go. This isn't working for me. These like what they're doing is fucked up. I don't want any part of this. Feel free to go.
Yeah.
And also because like I know I've had friends who've gone through the same shit that I'm about to describe, but they might even try to like argue against you or try to make you the villain for wanting to take better care of yourself. But you can't let that affect you either. You got to be aware that you matter the most in that whole transaction. If they're gonna be a toxic cunt and it makes you that fucking upset, don't take it. Like it's literally either them or you.
Yeah.
And I'm saying pick yourself. You deserve to.
If a dickbag says that you're a bad person, does it really mean anything? Because it's coming from a dickbag. What the fuck does the dickbag know?
Exactly. It's literally all it is.
The friend that I was saying this whole thing about like cutting friends out. They were also in a position where like, oh, but they have been my best friends for 10 plus years. But that was also one of those cases where they're doing something that this person has asked them not to do, and they've asked them not to do this several times, and it's a pretty big thing. Can't for their privacy, I won't get into it. But they've asked them, please stop doing this. I don't like when you do this. And they've constantly, they've done it again and again. And when they've gone, no, really, stop doing it. The quote unquote friend has then gone, oh, but I thought we were friends and I thought you would help me. And for that, fuck the 10 years. Fuck the person. Fuck whatever problem they have. This is no way to treat a friend. This is, at this point, they are a resource where, hey, you can help fix my problem. So I'm gonna do this thing to you that you don't like. Can you call that a friendship? No, this is one person benefiting off of another person who's doing like the hard work, basically. So no, like a friendship is only a friendship if it goes both ways.
That's like that is literally like the core thing you gotta realize, because we mentioned this before. People are more stupid than they are evil, and usually if you point it out to them, 9 times out of 10 they're going to like be like, oh, sorry, okay. Or even if they don't want to stop, they'll at least like tell you why they're doing it. And then you can like, bygones be bygones. But it's another thing entirely when somebody just flat out ignores what you're trying to ask out of them. And that's like a pretty clear sign. I know you mentioned in the email that it made you wary of other artists. And that's a whole nother kind of thing. Because again, generalization is bad. But like, you do gotta remember, everybody's fucking different. Like, we can't, and it's kind of impossible to just expect to know everything about a person just from like a social media post or an image or just talking to them once. You gotta have this maturity to like be able to protect yourself, but also to be able to understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not saying like go into every new like relationship or friendship with your guard down. It's perfectly fair to have it up, but as time goes, allow yourself to lower that guard. Don't constantly be like, oh my god, this person's gonna fuck me. This person's gonna fuck me. And not in the fun way. They're gonna fuck me. At some point, allow yourself to try and trust another person. Because you can't keep worrying. What life is worth living if all you do is worry?
What friend is worth having if you're going to be like that all the time?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that is my advice, if nothing else.
Yeah. Wow, I can't believe we did the No More's Heroes thing. We were Wahoo Pizza, and now we are tackling some heavy shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yakuza. That's the series I was thinking about. That does
Yakuza. Why didn't we think of that before? Oh, I'd love to hang out with Kiryu.
I would love to hang out with Kiryu. Oh my god, everything is like circling back to Yakuza.
Oh, good times. Good fucking times.
And I think with that, it's a good time to end this podcast.
Bye, everybody. Take care of yourselves.
See you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.
ちも愛さえも知らない不良品を野良犬さだけど血や金じゃエスケはできないぜ傷ついて全て失っちまっても染まっちゃならねえそれこそがジャスティスをブ